All right, today we're going to unpack the art of professional communication. We're going to dig into the essential skills that really separate a good professional from a truly great one, and explore what's actually driving success in, well, pretty much any field. So let's just kick things off with a big question. When you picture a really great salesperson, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it just off the charts charisma, a super slick pitch, or maybe it's that relentless, never give up kind of persuasion? Well, as it turns out, the real answer is a lot deeper than that. You see, the real secret sauce has almost nothing to do with just selling a product. Nope. It is all about building trust. It's about being able to adapt to whoever you're talking to and motivating them to take action, all while doing it in a way that's totally professional and ethical. This one idea, it's the core of everything we're about to talk about. And that idea leads us perfectly into our first section here. This is about more than just words. To really get a handle on professional communication, we have to look past the script. We have to understand the real goal of every single interaction. It's not just about what we say, but why we're even saying it in the first place. And here's the crucial point. Real, long-term success isn't measured by one single transaction. Not at all. It's measured by your ability to create a genuine connection with another person. Because when you communicate with real integrity, inspiring action becomes this natural outcome. It's not something you have to push or force. So the big question is, how do we actually build this ability to connect and inspire? Well, the source material breaks it down brilliantly into a framework of 4 pillars. I want you to think of these like the essential building blocks for a complete, really powerful communication skill set. Okay, so here's our roadmap. It all starts with the foundations. Then we add a layer of persuasive skills on top of that. We build on that with interpersonal skills. And then finally, we bring it all into today's world with modern tools. So let's break each one of these down. First up, the foundations. And let me tell you, this part is completely non-negotiable. If you don't have clarity, your message is just lost. If you don't do some audience analysis, you're just talking at people, you're not talking to them. And without active listening, there's no way you can possibly understand what they actually need. Literally everything else is built on this bedrock. Now, building on that solid foundation, we get to our second pillar, persuasive skills. And look, this isn't about manipulation, okay? Not at all. This is about logic and empathy. It's knowing how to structure a really compelling argument, how to handle objections respectfully, and how to boil your entire message down into a powerful, concise elevator pitch. Of course, communication almost never happens in a perfect little bubble, right? That is exactly where pillar number 3 comes in. We need the skills to navigate all those complex human dynamics, whether that means de-escalating a conflict, leading a team toward a shared goal, or even adapting our communication style to work with different cultural backgrounds. And finally, pillar 4. This is what brings all those timeless principles into the 21st century. I mean, how do you actually apply all this stuff today? Well, it's through things like killer presentations, clear and professional digital messages, emails, texts, the whole shebang, and even understanding the dynamics of what makes an idea catch fire and go viral online. Okay, so we've got our 4 pillars, we've got the theory, but how does this stuff actually work out in the real world, when the rubber meets the road? In this next section, we're going to connect the dots and see these skills in action everywhere from a restaurant floor to a super important online pitch. What's so cool about this is seeing how it all weaves together. So think about a server upselling a bottle of wine. That's not random. That is audience analysis and persuasion working together. And the result? Increased sales. Or what about a manager dealing with a major service failure? They're using empathy and service recovery skills to build a lasting relationship, not just to fix one tiny problem. Even something like an online sales pitch needs that digital professionalism and those catchy sound bites to actually get people to act. And all of this, all these real-world examples, they're really pointing us toward the biggest idea of all. It's about making a fundamental shift in how we think, getting away from just simple one-off transactions and moving towards building real, lasting relationships. And wow, this slide just lays out that shift so perfectly. The transactional mindset, it's all about that one single sale. It's short-term and it sees persuasion as just a tool to get the job done. But the relational approach, it's a whole different world. It focuses on the customer as a person. The goal becomes long-term success, And communication? Well, communication is the bridge you build to get there.
So look, if you only remember one thing from all of this, please let it be this. All the strategies, all the tools, all the skills we've talked about, they all come back to this one central idea. Effective, ethical communication isn't just part of the job, it is the absolute foundation of success. Period.
You could even think of it like a simple but powerful recipe for success. Step 1. Speak with clarity so your message always lands. Step 2. Adapt with empathy so you can connect with people on a truly human level. And step 3. Always persuade with integrity. That way, you're building trust, not just trying to close a deal.
And at the end of the day, why does any of this matter so much? Because when you put it all together, the clarity, the empathy, the integrity, you're not just building a customer base, you're building relationships. And as the source material so perfectly concludes, it's those relationships that are the true engine of sustainable, long-term success.